Course 3 deals with issues that I find are often ignored in the job search process. We love talking about motivation, we love talking about gifts, and then helping people with the job search, but what we often don't want to have a conversation about is their barriers and their fear. And we know people come to the table with a whole lot of attitude, perspectives, and just plain old fear about the risk that it represents for them to go to work. Now, I think fear has gotten a really bad rap in our culture. I think we don't want to talk about it, we don't want to smell it, we don't want to name it. But to me, fear is a kind of intelligence. It's a map that tells you where I've been, where I never want to go again. To me, this is important information. But we've learned from when we were like 5, 6 years old to just fold that up and put it deep in our pockets and walk around like we're not afraid of nothing. But when we ignore our fear, it grows, it gets bigger. When you take the map out and say, okay, I want to show you what's totally freaking me out about this whole situation, when you name it and you frame it, we bring it under control. So part of Course 3 is helping them actually identify what are the risks that I'm taking and where is my fear. It wouldn't be complete if we didn't talk about courage, because the two go together. They're different sides of the same coin. You don't have courage unless there's fear. There's no fear, you don't need courage. Where there's fear, how do we help them find their courage? How do we help them go back and really gain self-esteem from all the ways in their lives that they have shown up and responded to circumstances in a way that recovered their dignity or their health? What I'm talking about is getting to the person's spirit. And trust me, I have taken a lot of flack through the years. I lived in California for 30 years. A lot of my books and things use the word spirit. And people are like, oh, Denise, we can't be worrying about spirit. We're working with people with like real problems, drug addiction, homelessness, profound disability. We don't have time for the spirit stuff. And my question to you all is, where else would you start? Where else would we start? We've all had circumstances in our life that landed us on the ground, and one way or another, we picked ourselves off, partly because perhaps we had resources or training or support. But I think we would all claim that it was the element of our spirit, knowing we're bigger than this circumstance, that got us on our feet. I want to remind people of all the ways they've been strong their entire lives. Because courage doesn't come from some vision of what I could be someday. It comes by looking behind going, whoa, I had my faith in myself then and then and then and then. That's what Course 3 is about. It's about finding their power and not talking about disability or barriers on the surface, but digging for the story within the story. How has this made you strong? What have you learned through this? What has this brought you never would have had without this situation? I believe that an event doesn't equal an outcome. It's your response to the event that affects the outcome. So that course is all about creative responses to things that could be seen as barriers.